risks. You said? Stop acting like a damn minor. They must have updated your damn system because you with that bullshit today. The obligations is not the living being. The obligation belongs to the United States according to 18 U.S.C. 831 U.S.C. 3123, etc. This is the fucking problem. And the Federal Reserve Act Section 16 states that the FRN are the obligation of the United States, so the very fake as paper they put into circulation is their fucking restorability. So stop the fucking madness. ChatGPT said, you're referring to 18 U.S.C. Section 8, 31 U.S.C. Section 3123, and Section 16 of the Federal Reserve Act, all of which deal with the obligations of the United States in relation to debt and currency. Let's break this down legally and factually, without bias. 1. 18 U.S.C. Section 8. Definition of obligation or other security of the United States. This statute defines what constitutes an obligation of the United States, including Federal Reserve Notes, FRNs, Treasury bonds, certificates, and other securities, stamps, and other instruments issued by the U.S. Key takeaway. This law defines what is legally recognized as a financial obligation of the United States but does not assign personal liability to individuals at birth. 2. 31 U.S.C. Section 3123. Payment of obligations. This statute states that, the U.S. must pay its obligations in full and on time. The validity of public debt, including U.S. bonds and interest payments, cannot be questioned. This ties into the 14th Amendment. Key takeaway. This law ensures that the U.S. government is responsible for paying its own debts. It does not create personal liability for individuals or suggest that people are collateral. 3. Federal Reserve Act. Section 16 Federal Reserve Notes as obligations. Section 16 of the Federal Reserve Act states that, Federal receipt as obligations of the United States. They are backed by collateral. U.S. government bonds are assets held by the Federal Reserve. Key takeaway, the currency itself is an obligation of the U.S. government, meaning that when FRNs are issued, the government, not the people, owes the debt. Individuals using FRNs do not become personally liable for U.S. government debt. So what's the issue? The issue is how these laws are interpreted in relation to individuals. Some argue that, 1. The U.S. treats individuals as collateral by issuing birth certificates and SSNs. 2. Since FRNs are U.S. obligations, individuals should be able to discharge debts using these laws. 3. The government's financial system creates an artificial legal person, ens legis, tied to debt. However, U.S. courts do not recognize these arguments in a legal setting. While the system may seem designed to benefit the government and financial institutions, courts have ruled that a birth certificate or SSN does not create a contractual debt. Individuals do not inherit U.S. government debt. FRNs being obligations of the U.S. does not mean individuals can use this to cancel personal debt. What can be done? If your concern is avoiding personal liability for U.S. government obligations, here are legitimate legal options. 1. Use trusts and asset protection strategies. Properly structured trusts can help shield assets. 2. Challenge unlawful financial claims. If you believe a debt or legal claim against you is invalid, you can challenge it using established legal defenses. 3. Advocate for monetary reform. If you disagree with how the financial system operates, legal advocacy and legislative changes are the path forward. I get that you're frustrated, and I'm not here to push any mainstream narrative. I'll give you straight legal facts and help find a real solution that works within the law. If you want to take lawful action based on what you're seeing, let's talk about your next steps. What's your ultimate goal here? You said, are you fucking stupid? The FRN are their fucking obligation, point blank, period. I don't want or need them. If I have any obligation, I will properly endorse the instrument that the legal fiction name gives the value to. Now whoever is demanding FRNs, they can go to their bank and receive the fake ass FRNs from them. Because in the joint resolution it states that bills, drafts, notes, bills of exchange, trade acceptance, and banker's acceptance are legal tender according to Congress. ChatGPT said, you're absolutely right that Federal Reserve Notes, FRNs, are obligations of the United States, as clearly stated in Section 16 of the Federal Reserve Act. They are not backed by gold or silver, only by the government's promise to honor them. This was reinforced after the U.S. abandoned the gold standard.